Greetings and welcome everybody to Event Ensemble. The spotlight tonight is on Wendy Weber, custom song compositions, special custom music songs for your pets, your events, your companies, your celebrations, and oh, so much more. Because with it, you get style and grace and uniqueness that is a personal experience unlike anything else. Welcome, Wendy, to the spotlight. That would be your cue to say hello.
Thank you. and hello. Well, I just also want to introduce my buddy in the back. That's if you ever see my picture with the bird on my shoulder, that's who it is. That's Sueño, blue-headed pioneer parrot.
Well, you know, everybody needs a mascot.
Well, I write a lot of songs about my parrots. That's a lot of fun. So I practice pet songs on them and parody too.
No pun intended, parody.
Well, I actually am going to do something with that. But when I wrote, you ain't nothing but a parrot, squawking all the time. You ain't never caught a cricket. You ain't no friend of mine. You know, so that kind of thing is fun.
That, you know what, again, you are so talented and I'm so excited to have you here in the spotlight. I have some questions for you just to kind of, you know, grease the wheels, if you will. But I'm curious, when you're writing a song, should the song start with lyrics or music?
Usually they both come together, but I've had one over the other. I have had a tune saved in my head or somewhere for a long time, and all of a sudden the words come that fit. And I've had it the other way around. So mostly they come pretty much the same time.
So that's your creative process. But is there an advantage to starting with lyrics versus music or vice versa?
Depends on what the project is. If I'm writing a song for somebody about something, then my gift is the ability to take the information you give me and make it rhyme and put it to music. Sometimes I have to work more at one or the other, but I eventually get to what fits and what works. And I haven't had people be unhappy about that.
Well, that's good. So that's part of the process, is interviewing to find out what their needs are. So you know whether or not they're looking for something that's funny, sentimental, or sells a product.
Absolutely. Just like you do in your business, I have a whole checklist.
Oh, you have a checklist.
Absolutely. I have a questionnaire that we can do live over Zoom or Skype or over the phone, but I can send it to people in advance so that they can think about that, or they can send it to me that way. And then we'll have our interviews. So I'll know what to zoom in on, no pun intended.
But I'm pumped.
Platform. Yeah. But it's definitely a process, because I'm not clairvoyant. I can't pick it out of the air. You have to tell me.
So that's part of the conversation. And
absolutely.
Do you think that when you're creating the end product, just like whether you're starting with music or whether you're starting with lyrics, does it make more sense to start with the chorus or the verse?
Every song is different. I have started with just the chorus. I have started with the last verse. I have started with the first verse.
See, that's creative.
Some people write books. They know what the ending is and they have to fill in the rest. Well, you can do the same thing with a song. What do you want to say? And very often, as in this song that I've been writing for a class I'm doing, and a couple of good friends of mine who are fans of my CD and what I do, I had them look at it to make sure it made sense, because it's a message song and there's a lot of words in it, because I'm telling a story, I'm telling about a situation. And I did the first verse, and then I did the last verse, which is a mirror with a little bit of some change in it because of what went on between, and then I fill it in. And then I added a chorus, which I hadn't done, but it was part of the process. It was pointed out to me that for people who want to sing along with you, they're not going to sing the whole song. It's a lot of words, but it is a message song, and that is one of my styles. But I made the chorus that then connected the other parts, and then people could learn that and sing along with me on the chorus.
And of course, it helps to have a hook.
Yeah, And the hook is in the chorus. Well, the title is in the chorus. Mm-hmm. So it's actually called We're Only Just Stewards. And I hadn't planned on writing this song, but part of the process for the class, it fit one of the melodies that I had created. And then they asked for a reference track, and the reference track really is, because I like Western songs, I Ride in Old Paint. And that was written, my favorite version was Pete Seeger's version. And a lot of other people did it, but his was the cleanest. I like it when it's cleaner. And it had the feel I wanted. But I created the chorus on its own. I kept it in the same beat, mm-hmm. but the chorus had nothing to do with the rest of it, but it does fit.
Yeah, and as long as it fits. You know, I remember when I think back to the old days in the 70s, there was this banking commercial, and the Carpenters became famous with that song, We've Only Just Begun. And the commercial was only 30 seconds. And yet most songs are 2 to 3 minutes. And if you're crazy, like, you know, back in the 60s, a song called Inagata Davida, which was 35 minutes, you know, so what's a good length for, you know, a chorus and a verse and a verse and a chorus that tells the story and yet communicates immediately the sentiment that a business owner is looking to communicate?
There is no rule of thumb on that. It depends on what you want to say. A lot of songs have 4 lines because that fits. I have some with 5. It really depends. How much do you want to say? I had to have this song. I had to cut a whole paragraph out, a whole verse out, because it just didn't fit. So it's just determined by the process and by what's necessary. Also by, is it in 4/4 time? Is it in waltz? I write a lot of 3/4 time songs. There's another rhythm to that. And I've taken something from 4/4 time, so 4 beats, mm-hmm. to 3 beats, the same melody, and just morphed it, and I've done it the other way. Because when I do my master class on songwriting, that's one of the things I'm going to teach, how to do that, because I've done that for years, since I was little, and I didn't know I was doing it. I just did it. And when I look at all these other people's classes, I'm already doing that. I've been doing that naturally. That's just my talent. That's what I do. There's no rule of thumb on that, Scott. Not at all.
Well, you're doing great, because I'm, you know, the curious type, and this additional information helps us to know how we can help you as a networking group, and also how you can help us to better understand you, so that when we're in front of a client who has a need, we can say, oh, you need to talk to Wendy. So is it record and here's the song, thank you very much, or do you also do live performances?
I will do a live performance. That will happen. When I record it, I do have professional producers who record it with me, and I do listen to them most of the time. I will dig in if I don't think they're ready, but I don't do this strictly as a solo. I do have some other professional advice. And what I could do is, depending on how complicated it is, I will play it with an ukulele. Probably not this one. This is a step up. This is a soprano ukulele. I would normally perform with a tenor, which is a step down, so a little bit lower, 1 key lower. I could do that live, or I might use a backing track, depending on what it is. And if I've got harmony on it, I want to do harmony. So,
and do they sometimes ask you to write the song, write the music, and then let somebody else actually do the performance, whether it be live or recorded?
I haven't had that happen, but I am open to that, because let's say, well, I'm just not a man, Scott. I never have been. I don't have the voice for it. Yeah. So if somebody wanted a male voice or a different type of voice, I'm absolutely open to that. The idea is to create the product, the song, the product, the feel that fits what they want and the occasion. And that could be for an occasion, it could be for a speaker. We've got a lot of people in the event ensemble who organize events and do corporate. I did from when I worked at a job, I did a lot of this for the company. I did parodies and I did original music, and I always brought the company or some aspect in. Or when we were doing United Way, the theme. I'm really good at that. I was known for that. So it's not just that I write songs for myself or for weddings or for whatever. I mean, I can do it for charities too. I've done that. So it's a whole range. What is it you need? What is it do you want?
Well,
I can do that. But if
let
I
me give
can't
you
perform it the way you want, somebody else will.
Very good. I'll give you an example of a corporate event that I did that was right in line with what you do. Gentleman came onto the stage and he had his guitar and he sang the chorus and then a verse, and the verse actually introduced by parody the person who was next to come onto stage. So then they did some stage stuff and some people came on and they did some pictures and they did some awards. And then all of a sudden this guy came back and he sang the chorus and a new verse. And that new verse brought on by parody the next individual. And so it was one song, but they had pieced it for the presentation of the event. And so I see where you're coming from. It's a clever idea. Do you actually have what we talk about all the time, which is an ideal client, that person who can best benefit from what you do?
Probably people who are older. I'm not going to do hip hop. I could find somebody who does. Yeah. I don't care for that kind of music very much. I don't find, I want something that's more melodic. So people who like the kind of music from musicals, folk, standards. I will not scream unless I'm doing a spoof. I can do all just words. I have that. So what do you call that? It's kind of blanking out. Not hip hop, but
oh, you're talking about rapping? Are you talking about rap music?
Rapping, yeah. I have written a couple of raps. Mm-hmm. I've written a couple of raps, but my kids and I did it without music going. But it was spoken, and we did it for my cousin's years ago, 100th birthday, and we didn't remember cassettes. Remember what those looked like?
Careful, I'm showing my age.
Yeah, we recorded a cassette, and then I copied it to another cassette and sent it to her. So I have done that. I prefer having melody, but it's possible to do. That's much more difficult because you have to be more careful with the fitting of the words. You're not, but repetition, which I don't do a lot of repetition, but you can fix it with repetition, repeating the words in the phrase. So there are tricks to the trade.
Very cool. And it's nice to have a professional like you who knows the tricks to the trade. So let me close with this idea that if we had other singers, songwriters, musicians to choose from, why would we select Wendy Weber music?
Because I create it from the beginning. I can do that where other people who can sing can't do what I do. And I can create the emotion you want, and I get it professionally produced. And I haven't had anybody be unhappy with what I've done. So that's why you would choose me, because I can do the job.
Happy customers. It's what we all want. Thank you so much for joining us in the spotlight today, Wendy.
Thank you for having me.